Team, I got everything you need on this compilation video for Christmas and whatever holidays you celebrate in, the month of December. Okay, I don't want to leave anybody out. All right. I did a Thanksgiving one of these videos and it went pretty well. I think y'all liked it. So this video is a compilation of 10 of my favorite videos. 8 of the videos are proteins that I made on the Ninja Woodfire Grill, from your prime rib roast to your turkey to pork loin, Birria, so on and so forth. I just wanted to give some options for your Christmas dinner, right? Most people probably gonna go with the roast or a turkey or a ham or something like that. But I threw a couple extra things in there for you. If you look in the video description, I'll break down the chapters for you. So if you're not really interested in making Birria for Christmas and you wanna make some lobster tails, click to it and you get there quicker, okay? And then I threw in 2 casseroles that I did not do in the Woodfire Grill, right? But I think they're good, right? So it's a homemade green bean casserole, not the Campbell's soup can whatever. This is homemade step by step, all right? And then a cheesy potato casserole, which I really like, and it goes good with the holidays. So it's not necessarily something I made in the wood fire, but it kind of goes with the Christmassy vibe of the video, right? Right. Before we get to that first video, I do want to mention that we do have e-cookbooks for the Woodfire Grill. I did a holiday cookbook, which I'll link down below. And then my regular Woodfire cookbooks, there's a bundle of 4. The holiday cookbook's $5 and the bundle's 15. Do is click on it, download it, becomes a PDF copy, you keep it forever. Right? Be careful with the Google ads on my website. I've been working with them, but they're kind of deceptive on there. So make sure you're clicking on the right thing, or get a pop-up blocker on your PC or whatever. That Google ads is driving me up a wall. And I'm sure people have dealt with that in the past. But my website is no different than most commerce websites out there. So guys, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, right? Comment down below your favorite dish that you'd like to make for the holidays on your Woodfire Grill, okay? But nothing left to do but get into those videos. Cheers, y'all. Y'all, we're gonna do a big old prime rib. We're gonna do it on our Ninja Woodfire XL. Guys, you ain't gonna wanna miss this one. It's about that time in the year where all the roasts are coming out. So I grabbed myself a 4-bone prime rib. Now, it's not exactly prime, it's more choice because that ish was expensive, but times are hard for the old CJ household. We can't do prime or Wagyu all the time. We got to do a little choice. All right, but I got a little hack that'll bring it over the top so it tastes a lot better than your normal choice, okay? Anyway, so what we got to do to get to this point is take us back a couple nights. Guys, with these big old roasts, I love to do a dry brine on them. And with the prime rib roast, I like to add a little rosemary to it so I combine them both. So with this one, we prepped it by, taking it out of the package. And then I slice off the bones completely. Some people like to just slice it a little bit and open it up and then tie it back on and all that. To me, I don't really care one way or another. Most of the time I end up slicing off the bones anyway after it's cooked, okay, and then I gnaw on them. So in my mind, I'd rather just take the ribs off and then do my dry brine with the roast itself, and the same with the ribs, and then eat them like I'd eat some normal beef back ribs, okay? So we took the ribs off. I went ahead and tied up the roast with some butcher twine. And guys, I am no pro at this. I just tie them one at a time. I don't know how to do all that butcher, twisting knots and all that jazz. So you guys do however you want. This helps keep the roast tight and uniform all the way through. And then I went ahead and snaked some rosemary underneath the twine. So it's nice, beautiful on the outside, add tons of flavor, and it looks really cool as you're cooking it, right? So, and then I just covered that bad boy in kosher salt. Nice, flaky, heavy-duty kosher salt. Same thing with the ribs, got those salted up too. And then we put it in the fridge, uncovered on that little rack for, it was 3 nights, okay? I was gonna actually cook this over the weekend. I didn't, so you're getting it today. But it's perfectly safe, and it just gives it so much more time to add some flavor to it. Kind of like a quick dry aging on that roast, okay? Next thing we do after that, after those 3 days, we're up. And the guys, I suggest overnight at least, but if you can go 2 or 3 days, go for it, okay? Now we're back to this morning. I went ahead and pulled it out of the fridge, let it, sit for a little bit, take that chill off. And now here's where we're kind of leveling it up to bring it to that Wagyu, to that prime flavors. We're gonna spray it down with some of that Wagyu beef tallow from South Chicago Packing Company, I think it is. I'll put a link down below to Amazon for it. But it's spray Wagyu tallow. I've been seeing it all over the internet. I was definitely influenced by the influencers out there. So we sprayed the roast and the ribs down with that Wagyu tallow. After we got that tallow sprayed on there, we used it as a binder to hold on the seasoning that we're gonna put on there. Now guys, you'd be good with just that salt brine. You have tons of flavor going on it. We're gonna add tons of smoke, right? But I like a nice kind of crust on the outside. I'm gonna add one of the barbecue rubs I use. It's called Uncle Steve's Lucky Shake, and I'll put a link down below for it. Real nice, thick, heavy rub, okay? And we're gonna cover the roast and the ribs with it every which way, sideways, all the way. It's a big piece of meat, and you're slicing off the meat, so you're just gonna have the outside crust on there, so you're not gonna over season it, trust me. So once it's covered and every nook and cranny, right? We're gonna throw our temp spike in there so we can keep some accurate temps. Now my wood fire has the probes, but I like my temp spike better. It's just a preference. It's a Bluetooth thermometer. The XL has the Wi-Fi capability, so you know, you don't necessarily need the temp spike if you have the XL, but I think my temp spike's a little more accurate, so I prefer to use that. If you don't have one, it's not the end of the world, all right? If you wanna get one, of course, there's a link below. My code gets you at least 20% off. Check it out if you wanna grab one. I feel like this whole video is an infomercial. Link down below, link down below. Hey, listen, I know it gets a little tiring to hear all the link down below stuff or support this or super thanks that or all that, but guys, you gotta understand as YouTubers, that's a way to help us continue to make great videos, like the membership buttons or the Patreons, all that stuff you guys see in your YouTube videos. That's just a way to help out the channels to make great content, all right, keep us going. So I know it gets a little old after a while, but you know, it is what it is. We appreciate you. So it brings us to where we're at right now. We're gonna get this thing fired up. I got some Jealous Devil Jack's pellets in there. It's a blend. Use whatever food safe pellets you like. Guys, I prefer to use these right now. So again, personal preference. I'm not trying to force any pellets down you guys. So that's just what I'm using. And everybody likes to know what I use. So that's it. Okay, got the pellets in. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on and we'll get the smoke rolling. Let's turn our wood fire on. Hello, how you doing? We're gonna turn the mode to the smoker setting. To take the temp to 275, right? Timing, we'll give it a couple hours, but again, we're cooking to internal temperatures. Go ahead, start, let it go through the ignition process, and we'll get that roast in. We're gonna take it to 125 internal in the thickest part, and then you know, pull it out and let it rest for a good half hour or so, just kind of chill out, and then we'll slice into it. All right, pretty simple, easy cook, right? Gonna take a little bit. Takes a little bit to get it prepped to where you want it to be right now, but in the end, we're just sticking in there and letting it get a lot of smoke. Cool. You know what, team? I decided to go ahead and put the probe in from the Pro Connect. Might as well use it with the temp spike. You know, double the checking. You know, we're not gonna hurt nothing. Might as well use it. Got a lot of smoke going on there. Love it. Let's go ahead and get our roast on. Good. Got our little rib rack on. Ain't nothing wrong with that right there, boys and girls. All right, we'll see you when it hits 125. About a half hour in. Looking gorgeous. Look at that color. Tipping out about 80 degrees. A little bit longer. All right, y'all, we're up to 125 in both thermometers. The wood fire probe's about 6 degrees higher than my temp spike, so we went off the temp spike at 125. We're gonna go ahead and get that roast off, right? And we're gonna throw a tint of tin foil over the top just so it has some time to rest, chills out, let all those juices reabsorb in there. If we tried to cut it right now, all the juices would just run all over the cutting board. We wanna give it some time to relax, let all those, let everything just chill out a little bit, right? All right, let's go ahead and get this thing off. Beautiful looking roast, guys. Roast is off. You can go ahead and take out the temperature probes. We're just gonna let it chill out. We'll get the ribs off too. Come on back and we'll slice into it. Guys, we've let it rest. We let it rest for a half hour, all right? It's still nice and hot in there, but we've given it plenty of time to relax and let all the juices kind of reabsorb in there. So Really nothing left to do but slice into it. As I'm so excited, you should smell it. It smells so good. Those back ribs that we took off the roast, I left them in the smoker for another half hour or so, just to get them a little more tender, a little more done. And you know, we wanted the roast done at 125, but we want them ribs done around like 205, 210. So that's why I let them go a little longer. So once I get that roast sliced up, we'll go ahead and slice the ribs up too. But they were probing nice and tender. Guys, I went ahead and took the strings and snipped them with some scissors. Go ahead and get those off. Let's go ahead and get these rosemary sprigs off too. The flavor has already been shared with our roast with these rosemary sprigs. All right, let's got our Dalstrong slicing knife here. A nice big slice off, nice medium. You guys like it more rare? I would cook it to more like 115, 120, and then give it that half-hour rest. With that half-hour rest, we took it, 125, and then went ahead and, let it rest. So it got a little more medium than medium rare, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. It's gorgeous, guys. This is looking too good. Beautiful color. I'll just take a little piece out for you. Juicy as all get out. Lovely. All right, let's go ahead and get myself cleaned up a little bit and we'll take a bite. It's a beautiful prime rib. Look at that huge spinalis cap, the best part on the prime rib or the ribeye. Oh, can't wait to get into that. There was a fair amount of cleanup after I took all my pictures and stuff, so let's go ahead and slice into these ribs. Look at that. You know that's nice and tender right there. Now let's try some of this prime rib. I'm ready to try this. The cutting board, there was so much juice in this thing that I had to get another cutting board just so I could take the pictures of it, and then another cutting board so I could cut up those ribs. The other cutting board is sitting over here. Juice is just running off. Our little pug Charlie's over here licking it up. I put some on his kibble over there. Everybody's gonna enjoy every part of this prime rib, trust me, all right? I guess there's nothing left to do but give it a try. I got some of that spinalis cut. This is my favorite. Oh, goodness. Goodness, man. Guys, the smoke, the rosemary, perfectly salted and seasoned. Guys, I tell you what, this is probably one of the top 3 or 4 prime ribs I've made in my entire life. And I'm feeling a bit old these days. I've made a lot of prime ribs. This is something special. Guys, this can be done in either of the Woodfire grills, whether it's the original or the XL. It can be done in your Woodfire oven. It can be done on any other smoker, all right? Because basically we got a set temperature of 275 is what we smoked it at. So any pit you have can be put to that temperature, right? And then we gave it smoke, right? And we cooked it to a 125 internal temperature. So as long as you got some kind of temperature probe or a temp spike or the probe that comes with your grill, you'll be solid, okay? Just remember, cook to internal temperatures. And like I said, let it rest for a good 20 minutes to a half hour, okay? Last thing, almost forgot, let's get into one of these ribs. Oh my God. That right there is a tender bite, baby. Hell yeah, baby. Yeah, the flavors are spectacular. All right, don't sleep on it. The smoke, the rosemary, the seasonings, all that stuff just combined into a wonderful roast. Team, I got 3 words for you: lemon pepper turkey. That's right, guys. Just in time for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna show you how to make a lemon pepper turkey. We're gonna smoke it on my Ninja Woodfire Grill, but you could do any of these steps, any of these parameters for any smoker you got. Hell, you can even do it in the oven this way. All right? All right. So first thing we got to do is set up our turkey for success, and that's by spatchcocking it. When you take out that backbone and you flatten that bird down, it makes it an even playing field, an even cooking surface, right? So your legs and thighs pretty much cook about the same time as your breasts. Every time I make some kind of bird, I spatchcock that bad boy. And especially with the Ninja Woodfire Grill, you got to spatchcock it anyway, okay? Because it ain't going to fit sitting up. All right, just telling you that. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set it up for a dry brine, an overnight dry brine. We have some lemon pepper seasoning that we're gonna mix with some butter. We're gonna shove that in between the skin and the meat of the turkey, okay? So all over any way you can. Just use your finger, kind of separate that skin from the flesh, and then just shove that butter in there. And then we're just gonna cover the outside with salt, all right? Nice kosher salt over the outside, and then get it in the fridge overnight at least. Sometimes it's better to go 2 nights in there, depending on the size of the bird. If it's a pretty big bird, you want to do a dry brine for 2 nights. This bird happens to be about 12 pounds, a little bit more, right? So we're gonna have to kind of finagle it in there. I'm using the XL Ninja Woodfire Grill. If you have just the regular OG one, you're probably gonna have to get a smaller bird, probably like 9 to 10 pounds, and you might have to do a little more, touching, finagling in there, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. So we're in the next day, bird is ready to go. One thing I'm gonna do is slide some lemon slices between the skin and the flesh. All right, we want that good lemony flavor going on. So that's what we're gonna do. And it's also gonna help keep it moist, right? And hashtag moist down below. I know someone in your life hates that word. I know I do. But it's apropos of what we're talking about right now, right? Right. Before we go outside, it's time to put our twin Tim spikes in there. Now, guys, it's a holiday season, and ThermoPro has a deal on these bad boys. You can either buy one twin Tim spike and get a second one free, or you could buy that one twin Tim spike and get an instant read thermometer with it, a little bit less of a cost, right? Guys, links down below. It is an affiliate link, but it helps out your boy, okay? So check it out. We're cooking these birds at 325. I like a hot and fast bird, right? So we're 325, and I'll put the Celsius here somewhere, right? And we're gonna take them to about 158 to 160 in the thickest part of the breast. And we're using that awesome Temp Spike app to set it up, set the alert for a temp that we want. And then again, we just throw it in the wood fire and we forget about it until it's time, until it comes up to temp, pull it out, let it rest for about 20, 25 minutes. The carryover heat will get it to that 165, but you'll still have a juicy bird. So nothing left to do but get outside and get that wood fire fired up. Forgot to mention we're using Smokin Pecan pellets like always. Guys, burn cleaner, burn longer. Links down below. First order saves you 10% using my link. Make sure you check it out too. Tell them CJ sent you. Okay, all that's taken care of. Let's go fire it up. All right, 1 hour in, temping out about 100 degrees in the breast. You can tell we got a little close right there, but the rest of it's looking good, y'all. All right, team, turkey is done. We're temping out right around 160. Time to get this bad boy off, let it rest. And I will point out the skin got a little crispy. This was a pretty thick turkey breast, right there. So it was close to the fan, but you know what? It's all right. I love a good crispy skin. All right, y'all, we got the bird in the house. It is rested for probably 25 minutes or so. I really wasn't watching the time, but it's time to slice in this bad boy. It's a little charred on that skin. I'm not, I said something about it, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get this thing carved up. Get a couple bites. What do you say? All right, y'all, there we go. Lemon pepper turkey. Let's carve into this bad boy. You see the little lemon underneath right there? Underneath that skin. Carve that off. Best part about spatchcocking, all you're really doing is just cutting the skin on the legs and the thighs right there. All right. And then you just come down the breastbone right here. Right. Kind of turn it as you go. Right. And you just slice underneath. Guys, that is a juicy breast right there. I don't like squeezing it. It's glistening though, baby. Whew. Got off the wings. Just find the joint, get in between it. Put this bad boy to the side. Dude, look at the cutting board right here. Just covered in juices. Whew. Got the lemon sticking out. Beautiful colors. Good stuff, y'all. All right, y'all. Time to get a bite. Look at that. Nice and glistening and juicy. Oh my God, that was so good. Guys, it's smoky, it's lemony, it's peppery. Everything I just did to the bird. So that's what it is. Anyway, guys, listen, Give this one a shot, okay? It changes up the traditional Thanksgiving turkey, right? When it's just like some seasoning, some herbs, butter, whatever. This, the lemon pepper, sets it off, guys. Got to do it. In case people are asking, about 2 hours for this turkey, start to finish, a little bit of rest time, okay? So kind of build that into your day. Y'all, honey baked ham ain't got nothing on this one. That's right, guys. We're putting a big old spiraled ham on our Ninja Woodfire today. Gonna give it some of that good smoking pecan pellet smoke. And we know we added tons of flavor to it. So guys, you ain't gonna wanna miss this one. And this is how you're gonna wanna do your Easter ham. Trust me. And you know, your random Tuesday ham too, you're gonna wanna do this way. All right, so there, all right. So first things first, let's address the fact that this ham is huge. It's over 10 pounds. So when I came outside to do a little test fitting, and I'm using my XL here, okay? So keep that in mind. It didn't shut. So I put the ham in there, had the packaging, you know, all around it, so nothing's, you know, cross-contaminating or whatever, but I put it in there, it would not fit. So what do we have to do? We had to take it in the house, get it out of the packaging, dry it off, all that good stuff. And then we had to do a little surgery on it. We turned it over to the bottom side of the ham shank there and chopped off about, I say, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, depending on the level of it. So we got that done. And being that it's already a spiral cut ham, it, you know, kind of caused it to, you know, kind of flop over. So that helps with the leveling height in there. So now it should fit. I haven't tested it out yet. We're going to do this together, but it should fit. To get the ham ready to be on that grill, besides trimming it up, we got to give it a little extra flavor, right? Right. So we used a little Mike's Hot Honey for a binder, so I rubbed that all over, got it in some of the sliced out spots there. We're putting flavor all the way through it, right? Then we're using some Cosmo's honey pecan rub and some honey killer bee. So we're going for a nice sweet barbecue flavor, right? That's what we use for those. Okay, got them all over. I got it in between the slices. So, you know, we're putting the flavor all the way through it. I know a lot of people, when they got their honey baked hams, you know, they just got that, you know, coverage on the outside, but nothing's getting in the slices, right? So this is what we did. We spread them out, and we got some of that seasoning in between the slices too. Now, once this comes up to temperature, we're gonna give it a nice base. I'm using this stuff from Cosmos Q, since we're keeping with that theme of using Cosmos stuff. They got some apple butter. All right, so this is a product they have on their website. I'm gonna melt that in the microwave, and then we're just gonna pour some over the top like a glaze. If you do not have this apple butter, heat up some apple juice in a saucepan, add some butter to it, add some honey to it, get it so it reduces a little bit, becomes a little syrupy. So you heat it up enough so some of that water evaporates in that apple juice, and it will help make it a little bit more of a glaze. And then that's it. Once we give it some time for that glaze to set up, that apple butter to set up on there, we'll be ready to pull it off, and we can give it a try. Shouldn't be too hard, right? I hope you're keeping along with me. If you're here with me this far, do me a favor, consider subscribing, hitting that thumbs up, all that good YouTube stuff. Comment down below how you like to do your Easter hams, or what your family does on Easter, right? Let's talk about it. All right, y'all, nothing left to do but get this thing fired up. We're using Smokin pecan pellets today. Those are the pellets made of pecan shells. They burn really clean, burn for a long time, give plenty of good smoke. I like using them on these big cooks like this. So it's gonna add tons of flavor and tons of smoke to our ham right there. Let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. Coming down here. We're gonna turn this bad boy on. Hello, how are you doing? Take it to the smoker mode. 275 is good. The 2 hours is fine. That'll take us where we wanna be. The Woodfire flavor button's already lit. So let's hit start. Guys, in case I forgot to mention it, we are gonna do this at 275, and I'll put the Celsius here somewhere, right? And we're gonna do it for about an hour. This thing is fully cooked. We don't need to cook it to some internal temperature. I figure at an hour at 275 should take it to where it's warmed all the way through. With plenty of time to get the smoke and the heat that it needs. I'll use my instant read, so, you know, shoot for 150, 160. That way we know it's heated all the way through in the middle. But other than that, we're not really kind of cooking the temperatures on this one. Figure an hour should be enough, especially it's had time to sit out for a little bit and you know, come up with the temp a little bit, not straight out of the refrigerator, right? We're gonna wait for that smoke to start rolling, get that ham on, that much closer to eating it, you know what I'm saying? Right, smoke is rolling, baby. Look at that. Time to get this beast on. I got me a big old spatula. Everybody always asks about this. It was given to me by a pellet company that I work with. I'll try to find one online, but no guarantees. All right, get that bad boy on there. Looking good. Shut her down. All right, y'all. It's been actually an hour and 20 minutes or so. We got a temp out here, 160, good enough for me. So we have our apple butter here from Cosmos. We've heated it up. Now we're just gonna pour some on. And we got a little basting brush here. Just brush it over. Try to get it in the cracks a little bit, in between the slices. Give it all a good painting. Give it a little bit more. All right, we're using the whole shebang on this. Now this apple butter is gonna melt in between into the slices here. It's gonna melt onto the grill underneath, flavor it a little bit in there too. So we're gonna shut this down and give it another 20 minutes, give or take. Set that butter up, be good to go, baby. Right, y'all, time to take a look. Wow, look at that, guys. Get you a little closer in here. Beautiful colors. That apple butter looks amazing on there. Let's go ahead and get this thing off and we'll try a bite. Guys, it's looking too dang good. Whew. Done and done, everybody. We got the ham out of there. Got all the pictures taken for the gram, for the thumbnail, all that stuff. We got a little bite right here. Nice piece of gorgeous ham. Yeah, babe. Man, it's too damn good. Team, we got some big old tomahawks going on that Woodfire Grill today. Stick around. Got me a couple big old Tomahawk Steaks that we're gonna reverse sear on that Woodfire Grill. We're gonna give them tons of smoke flavor, bring them up to temperature slowly to about 115, 120 internal. We're gonna use our temp spike thermometer in there, our wireless thermometer. Now guys, if you got the Woodfire Grill that does not have the internal probe, I suggest you pick up one of these temp spikes, okay? They're really inexpensive, they work well. You Bluetooth them to your phone, and trust me on this one, it makes life a whole lot easier when you're cooking on the Woodfire Grill, okay? And it just so happens I have a link down below for it, so check it out. So, what we've already done on this one, dry brined our steaks. So that's simply a process of taking some kosher salt, seasoning them relatively heavily with that salt, put them on a wire rack, put them in the refrigerator overnight. Trust me when I tell you, dry brine your proteins, okay? There's so much flavor, adds a little tenderness to it. So that brings us to today. We're gonna go ahead and get these steaks oiled up a little bit, olive oil. And then I have a barbecue rub that I'm working on with my buddy, Uncle Steve. On my channel, you've seen Uncle Steve Shake. I'll have a link below to his website. I'm working on my own West Coast shake with him, so I'm gonna try it on these steaks and see what I think and see how it goes. You never know, you might be seeing some West Coast shake on that website of Uncle Steve's. You never know though, we'll see. It's still in the planning stages. So anyway, if you don't have my particular seasoning, any kind of salt, pepper, garlic, any kind of barbecue rub, beef barbecue rub works out really well, okay? Or you can just keep it with salt and pepper, it's up to you. Once we give these steaks that smoke bath, we're gonna go ahead and pull them off, dry them off with a paper towel, get any excess moisture off there, and then fire up that grill to grill setting high, and then we're gonna sear off those steaks. And it's just gonna be a magical, miracle flavor explosion. I might be hyping that up a little bit, but that's all right. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna love it, all right? If you do not have Tomahawk Steaks, this same process can be done with, you know, your ribeyes, porterhouses, fillets, whatever you're gonna do. Same kind of process, reverse searing, giving a little bit of smoke, bringing it up to temperature slowly, and then giving it a hard sear at the end to take it to where you want it to be. I'm gonna cook these steaks to a medium rare. We're gonna shoot for about 130, 135 internal by the time we're finished with the cook. After we sear them, we're gonna pull them off, let them rest for about 15 minutes, slice into them. Then we're eating like kings and queens, right? Nothing left to do but get going. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna bring you down to the little prep station over here, get these steaks ready, get the grill smoking, we good to go. Y'all stick around. Team, we're on our little prep station over here. As you can tell, the bones on these tomahawks are a bit too long for the grill, okay? So I had to do a little bust out the power tools, get these bones shaved down. These are beautiful looking steaks. I'm gonna go ahead and oil them up a little bit, get them a little tacky, use it as a little binder, and then we'll get it with the seasoning on there. Because we want that rub to adhere to the steaks, and obviously with dry brining, it kind of dries these steaks out a little bit. So a little bit of oil never hurt anybody. And I'm using olive oil because it's what I have handy. But typically I would use a little higher heat oil, but we'll be good with this with the olive oil. It'll be fine. Now, like I said, this is my own seasoning mix right here. My little concoction. We're going pretty liberal with it. Make sure you get the tops, the sides, all the goodness. Get the other one. Got these nice and seasoned up. We'll let them sweat a little bit and we'll get them on that grill. All right, let's get our temp spike in. Get it right in the middle. All right, we're gonna get it on the smoker setting. We're gonna go 250. Timing won't matter. Get that smoke rolling. We're gonna go ahead and get these on before the smoke hits. Let it get that smoke while we're heating it up. You can see it's a pretty tight fit in there. Push that temp spike in a little bit. You shut it down. Let it get that smoke. Steaks are on. We're gonna let them go through the ignition process, so it's gonna get some of that heavy duty smoke. But these are big pieces of steak, right? Big old thick 2-inch tomahawks. I want to get as much smoke as possible on them. Once it hits to that 115, 120 internal, like I said, we'll pull them off and we'll start the sear process. So right now it's just a waiting game. I'll be back out here in about half hour, 45 minutes, but for you, it'll be like that. Team, we're up to temp on our steaks right here. Those are looking luscious, nice and smoked. Now let's get them off, dry them off, heat up that grill. Let's get our steaks off. Those are looking good. I'm gonna shut this down in the cook, turn it to grill. Setting high, go ahead and start, let it go through the preheat. Get these steaks dried off right quick. We're ready to get them on the grill when it's preheated. So it's time to add the food. Let's add the food. We're gonna give these just a quick 30-second count. Get the other one on. Giving them a good press. We're gonna leave the lid open. And then, like I said, we're gonna sear up both sides for about 30 seconds. We're pretty much up to the temperature of like 130, 135 right now. So now we're just gonna build a little crust on the outside. All right, let's give them a switch. Do a little Tetricing on there. I got a lined glove on, so that's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I would not suggest you do this. All right. All right, time to get them off. There's the other side. Perfect, perfect. Love it. There we go. Even the grill is off. We're gonna let that cool down a little bit. I'll let these steaks rest for about 10, 15 minutes. You know, let all those juices kind of redistribute throughout there. All right, we don't want to cut into it right now. As much as we want to cut into it right now, we're not going to. We'll let it rest, let it chill. We'll slice into these bad boys, but these are looking like money in the bank to me. All right, come on back. Team, we've let these rest about as long as I could. I'm gonna go ahead and slice into them. Just cutting along that bone. Charlie's waiting over there for that bad boy. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the spinalis. You know, that's dad's cut right there. Slice into this bad boy. Whoa, it's like falling apart on me. Took it to a little bit more medium to medium rare, but damn, that's a good looking color right there. We got the spinalis on this side, the rib cap, the eye of the rib eye. Man, that is looking too dang good. Y'all want that Pitmaster Shadow Black series knife from Dalstrong? There'll be a link down below. That is a pretty looking steak right there. All right, y'all, that right there, that's the money. That's the bomb right there. That's that spinalis cap right there. Man, that's too good. That is way too good. Give me a second bite, baby. Listen to that seasoning on there. A little bit of all right, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys get to sample some of that sometime in the new year. It was just that easy, too dang tasty. Reverse seared tomahawks. You guys can get one, get your hands on a tomahawk. I suggest you do. Hey y'all, today we're gonna do some amazing little lamb chops. We're gonna do them on the Woodfire Grill, get them nice and grilled and a little bit of that woodfire flavor. So we got some wonderful lamb chops today. We have a beautiful Southern California day, so why not get on that grill them up real tight. It's gonna be amazing. You might hear a little bit of wind in the background. It's a little breezy day here, but it's gorgeous, okay? So much better than all the rain and crap we've been having. All right, so what we did to get to this point, we had to get our lamb chops prepared. Now, if you look at these little things, they look like little mini T-bones. It's so dang cute, right? So to start this off, we season them up with a little bit of kosher salt, both sides. Obviously, the meat has two sides, so we want to get both sides seasoned, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and get it into a gallon baggie and start putting this marinade together. So this marinade is a real simple one, but it's gonna impart tons and tons of flavor. It's almost like a mock chimichurri that we're marinating these chops in, okay? So we got a little bit of olive oil in there, got about a tablespoon of garlic, a couple tablespoons of parsley. We're going in with some red pepper flake. We got some salt, we got some pepper. We're squeezing in some limes. So we're using about the juice of one lime in there. So we took that marinade mix, just scrunched up that bag all together, really pushed that marinade into those chops, wrapped it up and got it in the fridge. Going about 4 hours now. This could be done for a couple hours to up to overnight. We did it for 4 hours today. So that brings us to where we're at right now. We're gonna go ahead and get this Woodfire Grill fired up. We're using the grill setting, but we're gonna use that Woodfire technology. These are pretty small chops. They're gonna take no time at all. So we're gonna grill each side a couple minutes and we should be good to go. But I want to impart some of that, smoky flavor into this. That's why we got the Woodfire Grill. We want some wood fire flavor, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get on that wood fire station over there, otherwise known as my backyard workbench. We are using just a competition blend of pellets, nothing fancy or anything like that. And then to check the temperatures, I'm gonna use my old trusty here, ThermoPro Lightning Instant Read Thermometer, link down below. It's a show friend, so I want to, make sure we share it. It's a great instant read thermometer, so you guys want to check it out, all right? If you use my code, you save like 20%. It's good stuff, baby. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this grill fired up. We got it on grill setting high. We're gonna add that wood fire flavor. We're gonna hit start. Let's go. The default 15 minutes works just fine. Once this goes through the ignition process, we'll go ahead and add our chops on and we'll get going. Shouldn't take any time at all. Guys, while we're going through the ignition process, I kind of want to just throw it out there that this can be done on any of the Ninja grills, even like the indoor grill. You just won't have that wood fire flavor with it, right? But same marinade, same temperature that we're going for the internal, all the same stuff. You can do it on the indoor grill, okay? So if you don't have the wood fire grill, this will work out just fine with your normal Ninja footy grill, whatever one you have, all right? That smoke's rolling. It's starting to smell really good. We're almost ready. Okay, we've gone through the wood fire igniting process, so we got the smoke rolling. Now we got to go through the grill preheating. We were on the high setting. Okay, so we got a couple minutes and we're ready to fire these lovely chops up. Kids, what do we do when it says add food? We go ahead and add that food. Got a nice little smoke coming out of there. That grill is sizzling, searing hot, baby. Trust me, you're gonna hear it. Oh yeah, dog. Look at that. You can hear that sizzle, baby. Woo. Okay, normally since these are so thin, I would just leave it open and, flip them a couple times. But since we want that wood fire flavor going in, we're gonna shut it while we're waiting for it to flip. We have these lamb chops just sizzling away. We're going to check their temps. I already talked about that with our Lightning Instant Read Thermometer. We're gonna cook them to about 130, 135 internal. The USDA says 145 is where you want, but I'm gonna do it a little bit under, let some carryover, take it, to where we want it to be, and then, enjoy it at a little medium rare. When those chops hit that grill, just that perfume of that garlic and the oil and the parsley, all that just flew up, smelling amazing. We're gonna give it about a minute and a half. We're gonna give them a flip. We're good to go. All right, it's been about a minute or so. Let's give these bad boys a flip. See how we're looking. Got that beautiful color on them. All right, we give them a flip. Let's take a quick temp. All right, in the 90s. Little ways to go. We're gonna shut it down, give it another minute. All right, it's been a couple more minutes. Let's take a temp. All right, we're at 135. I think that was the thickest one we had. Yeah, that one's a little bit over. We're gonna pull these bad boys off and we'll cut in and give it a try. Chops are off the grill. We're gonna let them rest for about 5 minutes or so, or as long as I can stand it. These smell so dang good. The color we got on that, off that grill. Yeah, guys, this is pretty money in the bank right here. All right, let's give them a try. It'll be 5-ish minutes for me, but for you, baby. All right, guys, let's go ahead and cut into this. I got one right here. I'm gonna cut off the little fillet on the side. It's just like any other T-bone. You got your fillet and you got the strip side. Cook these to a little bit more, a little over. I let it rest a little too long. That's okay. We're gonna go ahead and give them a bite. All right, guys, we got it chopped up. Like I said, I took it a little bit over, so it's more like medium. You know, filming, you get distracted, kids running around, whatever. I thought I was gonna cut into this too soon, and then instead I let it go too long, but live and learn. It's all about that marinade though. Let's take a bite. All right, all right. Guys, we got a big old pork loin and we're gonna throw it on that wood fire grill today. You ain't gonna wanna miss this one. Guys, this is way too simple, way too easy. We're gonna add a bunch of flavors to it. We're injecting some of that Tony Chachere's Creole butter in there. There's a little paella Cajun seasoning from my guy, the Cajun Ninja out in Louisiana. I'm gonna show you how to cook this pork loin so it turns out juicy as can be. We don't do dry pork. We don't do dry chicken around here. Show you how you do it right, okay? Before I get started showing you all that, I want to thank this week's sponsor, BetterHelp, but more on them later. First thing we got to do is get that pork loin out of the package. A 4-pound, give or take, pork loin. A pretty big old piece of meat. We got it cleaned off, dried off. Then we got it on a tray. Took a nice sharp knife, sliced through that fat cap. That way we can get a little bit of that seasoning in there, that good Creole butter, all that stuff. If you want to get rid of that fat cap, feel free to take a sharp knife, get under that cap and then just slice it off, but I like to leave the fat cap on, especially when I'm doing these pork loins. It helps protect the meat. All right, so we're gonna put that fat cap up. When the heat from that wood fire comes down on it, it's protecting the meat, help render that fat a little bit, maybe even crisp it up a little bit. You know, you love a little crispy fat, right? Next thing we did was got that Tony Chachere's Creole butter. Guys, I get it at my local grocery store, but I'll find an Amazon link and put it in the description if you want to try to get some. But like I said, local grocery store had it. Just took that syringe and injected it every inch or so. And I did that all the way down the pork loin. You want to make sure that there's plenty of that good butter in there. Some's going to leak out, some's going to shoot out. It's not going to hurt anything. Just gonna sit in it, no big deal. Gonna put enough in there so as you're pulling out that syringe and he leaks out, you ain't gonna miss it, okay? Next thing, we gotta throw that seasoning all around it, okay? It's a big piece of meat. It can handle a lot of seasoning. You want that good Cajun paella flavor on there. I'll find the website and put a link for it down below. I actually bought this stuff in New Orleans when I was out there, but I'm sure there's a link we can throw in there. Last thing, we threw our Temp Spike Plus in. Guys, you know I've been rocking with ThermoPro for a long time. One of my favorite accessories for any barbecue cooking I do, all right, any smoking, grilling, all that stuff. This Temp Spike Plus is thin, it's compact. The range on this thing is 600 feet. I could have it in the backyard and I could be in the front yard checking stuff, and we can still get our alerts on our phone. The app for the Temp Spike Plus works great. So guys, get yourself one. There's a link down below for it. When I set up that app, all I do is set it up for whichever device we're using. So in this case, we're using the Temp Spike Plus, right? Set it to the setting of whatever protein you're cooking with. So this is pork. We got a pork roast. You set it up to a medium temperature at 140. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I might pull it at 135 or so. So when you pull it out and let that carry over heat, take it to that 140. But I'm good with a nice medium pork loin. It's gonna help keep it nice and juicy. You don't wanna overcook your pork. It's just like chicken breast. You don't wanna overcook it, right? Right. We're gonna go 325 on that wood fire, and I'll put the Celsius in front of me here. We are gonna use Smokin Pecan pellets. Now guys, I'll put an affiliate link down below. It'll save you 10%. But I have found these Smokin Pecan pellets burn cleaner and longer than most any of the wood pellets, because these pellets are made from pecan shells. It just produces a great flavor. So that's what we're gonna use today. Think I got us all to where we need to be. Let's go ahead and get out on that wood fire, get it fired up, get our pork loin smoking. We're out back. We got our grill plate in, looking good. Let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on. Hello. What's going on? How you doing today? Well, you say you're high. Hey, don't talk about that. We go to the smoker setting, the wood fire flavor. Light is illuminated. We're gonna take that, hit the temp again. You know, usually, I don't know if you guys can hear the saw going. Usually it's just, I'm bitching about neighbors making a bunch of noise. This time it's me. We're actually having our bathroom redone, and that's someone cutting tile for us. 325, the default of 3 hours is fine. Remember, we go off of temperature, not time. So we're gonna hit start, let it go through the ignition process, and then we'll get that roast on. Definitely got that smoke rolling. Whew, that good smoke of pecan smoke. Ready to go. Smoke is definitely rolling. Let's get our loin on, right in the middle. Looking good. Got that temp spike in, all that good flavor and seasoning on there. Just close it down, give it that good smoke bath. Team, we're an hour in. We are temping out at 138, so I'm gonna catch this before it hits that 140. You can see what I was talking about with that fat crisping up in there. It's gonna be amazing. There's a beautiful piece of meat. Let's go ahead and get it off and let it rest. Get that off, chill out. We're gonna let this rest for at least 15 minutes, if not a little bit longer. Let all those juices redistribute. We'll be good to go. We got our roast here. You can see that it's fully juicy. Tons of juice left on the tray. Let's go ahead and slice into it. I've let it rest way too long. Got involved in another shoot. So these are looking too dang good. See, it's nice and juicy, moist, tons of flavor. We gotta go ahead and get a bite. Oh, if you want one of these knives, everybody always asks when I use it. Dalstrong Shadow Black Pitmaster. I'll have a link down below for it. Let's get a bite. Now we're done, it's nice and chopped up. Got me a bite right here. I mean, you know it's good. It's smoky, it's spicy, it's perfect Cajun pork loin here. Guys, we're gonna grill up some lobster tails. We're gonna do it on our wood fire grill. Give it that wood fire flavor, right? Something so simple about some grilled lobster tails. Now, I went ahead and cleaned up these lobster tails that were, previously frozen, okay? And defrosted, let it do that in the fridge overnight, chill out, right? Pulled them out, dried them off a little bit. Took some scissors and started trimming off those little flippers underneath the tail, okay? Just aesthetics. I mean, there's no real reason other than I think it looks better when we chop it off, okay? You don't have to if you don't want to. And then I went ahead and chopped them in half, okay? I did them lengthwise. You guys can cut down the shell and pull the meat out and rest it on the shell if you want. We're doing it rustic style. We're just grilling them up on their sides, okay? After I got them all chopped in half, I went ahead and cleaned them up a little bit, washed them out, dried them off real good. Got them back on that tray, seasoned them up with a little bit of my West Coast shake, okay? This is my own personal rub, guys. It is amazing with lobster and shrimp, okay? Just trust me on that one. It's great on fish and chicken too. It's a good all-purpose rub, but I did it on some lobster tails and some shrimps, and it was just amazing. So I'll tell you what I use on my videos, but I don't really say, hey, you need to buy this. Guys, trust me, if you want some good flavor on your lobster tails, your shrimps, your fish, all that stuff, get some of this West Coast shake. I'll have a link down below. Okay, tell Uncle Steve I sent you. He's my partner with the West Coast shake. You tell him in the notes that you're part of CJ's crew, he'll send you a little something extra in there, all right? So don't forget. We're gonna start these lobster tails flesh side down on the grill, give them about 2 or 3 minutes, and then flip them over. And we're gonna baste them with some butter, some parsley, and a little bit more of that West Coast shake. We're gonna check the temps on them with my Lightning Instant Read thermometer. Guys, get you one, links down below. Use my link, it'll save you at least 20%. No reason not to get yourself one of these, all right? We're gonna cook it to about 130, 135, okay? We definitely don't wanna overcook these or dry these out or make them rubbery or any of that stuff, so That's why we use our instant read thermometers. I have my Jack's pellets in there, okay? Guys, use whatever food safe pellets you want. This is just what I have handy. It works, it tastes good, so that's it. I think I covered everything to get us to where we're at right now. We're gonna go ahead and fire up the wood fire. Yep. Get some smoke rolling, get that grill on. Let's go. Y'all, let's get this bad boy on. Hello. It's so polite. I love it. We're gonna leave it on the grill setting. 10 minutes is good. High is good too. We're gonna hit that wood fire flavor button, hit start. Let it go through the ignition, let it go through the preheat, and we'll get those lobster tails on. Smoke is starting to roll out of that thing. We're in the preheat phase of that grill. Now, I want to tell you, these lobster tails are gonna cook in no time, right? So be ready with your butter already melted. That's what we did inside already. We put the parsley in the West Coast shake with that butter, got it melted, ready to brush on. But just to have everything ready to go, because it's gonna go in no time flat. Keep your instant read next to you. And like I said, we'll be flying by on this one. I'm excited, I hope you're excited too. If you guys make this, make sure you put it on all the social medias that you have and tag me. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of that jazz, all some sort of version of Cooking with CJ. Make sure you go follow me on there. I do a little bit more posting, obviously, than my YouTube, all right? I can smell that smoke coming over here. Can't wait to get these lobsters on. Let's go. Team, it says add food. Let's add some food. Let's get those lobster tails on. That sizzle, sizzle, baby. Trying to do this left-handed so I'm not messing with the screen. It was a pain in the neck, so sorry if you got my hand in the shot a little bit. Let's get connected. All right, we're gonna shut this. You can leave it open and grill if you want, but we're gonna shut this down. Just get all that heat on it. It's only gonna take a few minutes for sure. All right, we'll come back in a couple minutes and get that butter basting going. Whew. All right, guys. Just over a couple minutes. I'm gonna get these flipped over. You can see the shells getting red. And you know they're cooking. They're looking too good though, guys. All flipped over, looking nice. Let's get them basted with that butter, the parsley, and the West Coast shake. Get our little butter dish off. There's a good look of them right there. Let's do some quick temp check on them. Yeah, they're done quickly. It's a couple minutes. Grill on high. Yeah, you guys, they're all 140 or more. I'm gonna shut it down just to let that butter kind of cook in there a little bit, but like 30 seconds, no big deal, okay? Pretty hot, but want to dig me out a little piece of it. There you go, guys. Looking too good. Go ahead and take a bite. What do you say? We got our bite right here. I dipped it in a little bit more butter, of course. Let's take a bite. Oh man, he shoots these scores, man. That's too dang good. Birria on the wood fire grill. That's right, that's what we're doing today, folks. Gonna get it fired up. Guys, we got some chuck roast and we got some short ribs. Those are the meats I like to use in my birria. I will have the ingredients and prep down below so you can follow along. You can get all the ingredients that you need, but we're gonna fire this bad boy up. guys, I'm excited about this one. I don't know why I've put it off, but Birria and the wood fire makes so much sense to me, and I can't wait to show you how to do it. Now with this Birria, I want that good wood fire flavor, right? That good smoke, and we're gonna get there by using these smoky pecan pellets. Now guys, I know I rock with some other pellets in this thing, but when I want that good, clean, heavy duty smoke, right, I'm gonna be using these smoky pecan pellets. Smoky pecan pellets are all natural. They're made from pecan shells. I've yet to find another pellet that burns as long as these do, as clean as these do, and provide that good smoke flavor as these smoky pecan pellets do. I want you guys, if you ever take anything out of my videos, go click the link below to the Smokin' Pecan and check out these pellets, okay? With this little 2-pound bag, you'll get a ton of cooks in your wood fire. Just trust me when I say go ahead and get these, okay? I know I show you guys a lot of products that I use, and they're all great. I wouldn't put them in front of you if they weren't great, but these pellets are definitely worth the investment. Guys, do me a favor though. They're a show partner, I'll admit it. If you guys actually go click on that link and buy these pellets, put in that comment section that you can from CJ's channel, all right? I want them to know that I'm working hard for them, that I trust in their products, and I want you to trust in their product too. With all that out of the way, what did we do to get to this point? So last night I grabbed that chuck roast out, I grabbed those short ribs, and I got them all seasoned up with my West Coast shake. You know, if we're making Birria, we're gonna put that West Coast flavor on it. Got it covered and smothered all the way around, and you got them back in the fridge, let them sit overnight, let them absorb all those good flavors, right? Pull it out of the fridge, let it come up to temp a little bit. Then we got that Temp Spike Plus in there. We put it in the chuck roast, because that's the thickest piece of meat in there, and we want it to come up to temp. So we're gonna take that chuck roast and those short ribs up to about 175. Once we get that meat all smoked up real nice, then we're gonna start building that magic, that Birria, right? We got some chilies, got some tomato sauce, onion, all the good flavors that you put in there. Throw a little beef stock in there, wrap it up tight, and then get it back on the wood fire to finish up the cooking process. Gonna take it to about 200, 205, let it rest, and then we're gonna shred it up. We're gonna strain out that braising liquid. That's basically gonna become our consomme. So we'll have our shredded Birria, and we'll have our consomme, and then we'll be ready to make some queso Birria tacos, some Birria burritos. I'm gonna probably do some Birria smash burgers. Guys, endless things we're gonna do with it. Basically, I'm just showing you how to make the Birria. You can do what you want to do with it afterwards. Kind of over talked it a little bit, let's be honest, but that's what I do. I want to explain it to you. I want you to know what's going on. Now let's get these things, that good smoke, that good smoking pecan pellet smoke, get it fired up. All right, come on back. Let's get this bad boy on. We have our grill grate in there. We're gonna do the smoker mode. We're gonna do 300 for the temp. 3-hour default is fine. All right, the wood fire flavor button's ready to roll. Let's hit start. Let it go through the ignition process. What did I tell you about that smoke, baby? Woo. Let's get our meat on. Got our big old shorties right here. Got our chuck roast on. This is about to be a flavor bomb, y'all. All right, I'll shut it down. Wood fire's doing its thing, giving it all that good smoky pecan flavor. Y'all, I love me some Birria. I can't wait for you guys to try this. Comment down below. Tell me you're just gonna run out to the store right now, buy all the ingredients listed down below, and you're gonna make this too. And guys, do me a favor. If you're on social media and you make anything I make in my videos, throw a picture up and tag me on it. On Instagram, it's _cooking_with-CJ, and on Facebook, it's just cooking with CJ. You can find me there. All right, so tag me in the stuff you guys make. I'd love to share it with my followers. It's, you know, just let everybody see what everybody's doing. All right, guys, I'm pumped up. Let's go. Up to temp on the chuck roast in there. Now it's time to get all the goodies mixed in. All right, I got them all set up over here. Come on down. We're gonna get it in there. We're gonna get them braising. I'm gonna put that temp spike in the roast once it's all covered up, and we're gonna take it to about 205. So let's get them over there. Let's get it going. Our meat is looking amazing. Let's get it in this pan over here and get it ready to be braised. Oh, it's already falling apart over here. Got a roast in the pan. Now I'm using one of these little sheet pans, little half hotel pans, I guess you call it, little throwaway tins. If you fold down the edges, you'll be in good shape. It'll fit in there just fine. We're putting the meat side down with these short ribs so it gets in that good braise. Add them chilies in. We got chili guajillo and chili ancho. I left the stems on, left the seeds in. Guys, We're not gonna blend all this up. We're gonna strain out the consomme, the braising liquid. So I'm not gonna worry about taking off the stems and seeding them. They'll just rehydrate in there and the seeds and the stems will stay where they're at. Going with a couple onions. All right, onions on. Now I got garlic powder here. I'm out of fresh garlic and the people will lose their mind if I use garlic in this. Just going with a little garlic powder. Use fresh garlic if you got it. I didn't. It is what it is. Going with a little cumin. Just a little bit. Bust up a cinnamon stick, spread it around. Again, we're straining all this. You don't have to worry about it being like the powder. A little oregano. It's not Mexican oregano, but if you can get some, get some. If not, this is a perfectly fine substitute. Got a little tomato sauce here, a little tomato puree. I'm going with about half the bottle. So about 12 ounces. And then we're gonna go in with a little beef broth. Just taking it so it kind of covers the meat, gets about as close as it can. So it's about 3 cups. Get that foil on, seal it up tight, find that roast, put your temp spike back in, and then get it back on that wood fire. Shut her down. We got all the goodies going, we got it covered up. Now, if you do not have the XL wood fire grill like myself here, you're gonna use a little tin foil to wrap up the meat in there. Those half sheet pans will not fit. An 8x8 dish will fit in the OG wood fire, so if you want to use that, you can. It'll just back down the meat a little bit, or the poundage of the meat. So that's I think a 3-pound chug roast, probably about 2 pounds in short ribs. So you may need to back it down so it fits a little bit, so you get all the goodies in there. But otherwise, use tin foil, wrap it up real tight, and it'll still braise in there, and you'll be fine. And you'll still drain out some of the juices. You know, have your consomme, but make sure you got some good heavy-duty tin foil so it all, you know, stays tight in there. Right. All right, nothing left to do but let this braise. We'll come back probably in, I'd say, another hour or so. So it took a little over an hour to get to that 170 range. Probably another hour to get us to where we want to be. Nice and tender and shred apart goodness. All right, come on back. We are temping out at 205, so it is time to pull the Birria off. We're gonna go ahead and take it in the house. We're gonna strain out all the juice, all the new consomme, right? And then go ahead and pull that meat out of the pan, start shredding it up. And then I might even make a quesadilla taco for you just so you can see. I don't know, I'm kind of hungry right now, so it sounds kind of good. So maybe we'll throw that on. Anyway, go ahead and get this off the wood fire and get it in the house. Time to start shredding up our meat here. We got those beautiful short ribs. Got that nice chuck roast. Now I have cotton lined gloves on. These are still pretty hot. You use a fork to shred if you want, but I think we're doing pretty good just using our fingers. Nice and glossy, a little bit of fat running through it. You know, fat is flavor. See how the short rib looks? Yeah, this is tender as can be. All right, I'm gonna finish up doing all that, and we'll come on back, give it a bite. We're done pulling that meat, right? So we got some nice little shredded chunks of goodness. Definitely ready for some quesadilla tacos. What do you say? Guys, I hope you use this recipe. Guys, this is the green bean casserole Campbell's don't want you to know about. I'm gonna show you how to make a real green bean casserole, homemade, real ingredients, nothing from a can. It's gonna be amazing. You guys aren't gonna wanna miss this. Listen, I grew up on Campbell's green bean casserole with those French fried onions, those canned green beans. I dig it. I hear you. It's easy, but I got something to make it a little bit tastier, just a little bit more effort. Now, there's a little bit of prep you got to do with this one. All you're doing is you're taking your green beans, nipping the tip on them, cut them in half, cut them in thirds. You want bite-sized green beans in your green bean casserole. So that's what I did. Just chopping the green beans, got the ends off. These are already like cleaned and prepared or whatever in the bag, but you know, the ends still looked a little, yeah. So we chopped those bad boys off. Next up, we got our garlic pressed out. We're using 3 cloves of garlic in there. Now, instead of those French fried onions that come in the can, we're leveling this up with some fried shallots. Now I got some olive oil in a little pot over here. We're gonna do a quick shallow fry on them shallots, make them little crispy onion rings, set them aside. We'll mix a little bit in with the casserole, but we're gonna use most of them on the top. We're gonna make our own mushroom cream sauce. We're not gonna use that cream of mushroom that comes in that can, right? We're gonna do it up nice. All right, let's get down to that stove. On the stove right now, we got some butter going in this pan. We got oil in this pan. We're doing the mushrooms and all the goodies in that one. We're gonna fry up the shallots in this one. Got a lot of things going on right now, but It's gonna be amazing. Butter heated up and melted. Let's get our mushrooms in there. We're gonna saute these, get that moisture out. Add a little pinch of salt to help with that moisture removal. Once we get these sauteed for 3 or 4 minutes, we'll add the garlic in, a little salt, a little pepper, and then we'll start building our little cream sauce, soup, whatever you wanna call it. We're over 350. Get yourself a lightning instant read down below. Let's get those shallots frying. We're gonna give it a quick fry, get them a little crispy, and then we'll get them out on this paper towel, let them drain, and give them a light salting. You know when you start throwing that garlic in there, get those shallots frying. The smells in here are amazing. Guys, listen, make this, okay? Just trust me on that. Make this one. Ingredients and prep will be down below, okay? So don't you worry about it. Your boy CJ's got you covered. You cover me by hitting that thumbs up. Share this recipe on all your socials. If you make it, tag me on Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. Everything I'm under is some sort of derivative of Cooking with CJ. There's a dot or a hyphen or a whatever in there, you'll find me, okay? Let's get back to it. So you're basically just frying the moisture out of them. You could have taken the time to coat these in little, dredge of flour and whatnot, but these are so thin and they'll get nice and crispy. And you'll be able to tell that the moisture's all gone because you can see those bubbles. They're gonna slowly disappear and it's gonna get nice and golden brown. All right, guys, our garlic and mushroom mix there. It's gotten nice and reduced and the water's got out of it. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of flour in there. Give it a little mix, cook it down a little bit. You wanna cook it down for about a minute or two. Let's get that raw flour flavor out of there. We're essentially making a roux, but with the mushrooms and garlic in there. Our fried shallots are looking good. Still got a little bit more time, but you can see they're turning a nice golden brown. Next thing, we're gonna whisk in a little chicken stock. Just use my little handy dandy whisk here. Let that thicken up a little bit. Let me give you a little heads up too. I'm doing a 3rd batch of these shallots. Make more than you're gonna need because you're gonna wanna snack on them while you're doing your thing, okay? So just do a little bit more than you think you'll need. Just trust me on that. Okay. Our soup here, cream sauce, whatever, is coming along nice. I'm gonna add in a cup of cream, get that working. We got it on medium-high heat just to start kind of reducing, evaporating a little bit. Getting nice and thick. Right now I'm gonna take some time to add a little cracked black pepper in there. Go until your heart tells you to stop, okay? I like a lot of cracked black in there, but it's up to you. Another little pinch of salt, maybe 2. And like I said, just get that working, reducing, thickening up a little bit. Onions are all done. Get a little salt on there so let them chill out for a little bit, and then we'll see you in a minute. You know these are awesome. Now this isn't traditional at all, but I'm adding a little grated parm in there. I know it adds a great flavor, a little nuttiness, a little saltiness in there. Goes well with the umami of the mushrooms. Give this a little bit more time, and we'll be ready to add the green beans. We are nice and thick in there. Time to add our green beans in. And I'm gonna throw just a handful of the shallots into, and the rest for on top. Give this a mix. And we'll get our baking dish ready. All right, time to get the green beans in my dish here. See if I can do this without making a big old mess. All right, way to go, CJ. Look at that. All right, and this will thicken up in the oven too. All right, time to get the casserole in the oven. We're going in uncovered about 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, we'll sprinkle those fried shallots on top. Give it another 5-10 minutes after that, and we're ready to dig in. You know what I'm saying? All right, come on back at 30. Done. Time to take a bite. Time to enjoy the fruits of our labor right here. Y'all know this is gonna be money. The adult green bean casserole that Campbell's didn't want you to know about right here, y'all. Oh yeah. That is 100 times better than that Campbell's. That stuff you get out of the can. Give this one a try. Cheesy potato casserole. That's right, guys. We're making that holiday staple, that brunch staple, that last minute staple you got to throw together when you're going to Auntie Vera's house, right? You don't want to come empty handed. This is what you're going to bring. You're going to put it on that table and you're going to be proud of it. All right, guys, it doesn't get much easier than this. We're pretty much dumping everything into a casserole dish, getting it in that oven, let it go. So, guys, ingredients will be down below. Prep is pretty damn easy. Like I said, you're mixing it all together. You're throwing it in a Pyrex dish and you're heating it up in the oven. And y'all, there are 100 different ways to make this your own. So I'm throwing a little bit of bacon bits in mine, a little green onions in there. Some people use white onions in the mix. Some people want to throw some ground up cooked sausage in there. Guys, make it your own, but the parameters are simple. Got a bag of frozen potatoes, got some cream of chicken, got some sour cream. I'm using a little salt, pepper, garlic rub that I got from Uncle Steve's Shake. But if you guys want to use a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, and garlic powder, you're getting pretty much the same thing. For me, it's just easier to grab one of my barbecue rubs, throw it in there. If you need some SPG from Uncle Steve, I'll throw the link down below. You check it out. This is a good one. I have everything prepped already. I shredded my cheese. Okay, you're gonna need about 3 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Now, do not, for the love of all that's holy, use that already pre-shredded bagged cheese. They put a potato starch around every one of those little shreds of cheese. That makes things not as creamy, not as smooth, kind of glumps up in there. It has its purposes, it has its place. But when you're trying to impress over at Aunt Vera's house for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for whatever brunch, and you ran out of mimosas, all right, this is what you got. Go impress them with already grating your cheese. Cool. Diced up some bacon, cut up some green onions. Guys, it's so damn simple. All right, so let's get down here and we'll start combining everything and build this dish. Oven's preheated to 350, right? We're ready to roll. All right, come on down here. Start building this thing up real quick. Got our cup of sour cream in there. And if you're not spot on the measurements, you like a little more sour cream, you like a little less sour cream, just go with your gut. Do what you want to do. All right, we're not getting crazy here. Got a 10.5 ounce can of cream of chicken, Campbell's soup. Get that all in there. We get all our bacon bits in there. It's about a cup of already cooked bacon. Going with 2 cups of your shredded cheddar cheese. Leave some for the top. That looks about like 2 cups. We're gonna use most of these green onions. I'm gonna save a few for the top for garnish. Maybe about a 1/4 cup or so of green onions. Gonna go in with our SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. Don't be afraid to season your food, folks. Last thing you want to do is send some bland, cheesy potato casserole over. About half a tablespoon or so. Get that bag of frozen potatoes out and get it mixed in. And this is a 1 pound bag, country style hash browns. Now we're just gonna get it mixed up together. Just combine it all. Try to fold it in. Make sure you got a big enough bowl and spatula to do this. You want to make sure that all the potatoes are covered up, everything is incorporated, everything's mixed well together. Okay, our mix is mixed. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grease a little 9x13 Pyrex dish. I'm using some Wagyu beef tallow spray. I think it's gonna taste good with those potatoes, you know, so I'm gonna roll with that. If you don't have that, you can use some melted butter, you can use some spray canola oil, some sprayed duck fat. The idea is to get that Pyrex dish already greased up. Now let's get our mix in there, get it towards the oven. All right, let's get our mix in the pan here. You're just gonna wanna smooth it out. Make sure it's nice and even in there. Now take the rest of your cheese and just sprinkle it over the top. A nice even layer over the top. We want it to be the cheesiest. So you make sure you get it nice and covered in there. Right, y'all, we got our casserole here. Let's get it in a 350 oven. All right, we're gonna go for 40 minutes. We're gonna let that casserole go from about 35 to 40 minutes, all right? Now, this is another part of that choose your own adventure thing going on. A lot of people like to put crushed cornflakes on there. That's not for me. What I'm gonna do when it hits about 40 minutes, I'm gonna sprinkle some of these French fried onions over the top and let it finish for another 10 minutes. This adds so much more flavor, and you're gonna love it. Don't sleep on this, trust me. All right, come on back. 35 minutes are up. We're looking nice and bubbly and delicious in there. Now let's add our French fried onions to the top. Give it another 10 minutes. It's coming together nice. It smells amazing in here. I don't know what all that stuff coming together. It smells good. It smells like the holidays. I love what I do here because I'm eating holiday food months in advance before we're actually, at Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that jazz. So honestly, by the time we get around to, Thanksgiving, I've had 3 or 4 turkeys. Little known fact. Let's go ahead and get that French fried onions on there. Come on over. Okay, what are the odds I could do this without adding any kind of spillage here? No French fried onions into my oven. I'm saying we're looking too good so far. Don't jinx it, CJ. Doing okay. Don't drop. Don't drop. Okay, that's about a half a cup or so. I'm gonna go ahead and try to kick a few out, spread them around a little bit better. Don't worry guys, I'm a trained amateur. I'm not worried about burning myself. Burning's part of cooking, just like rubbing's part of racing. Back in the oven, another 10 minutes. Time to get these bad boys out. Looking crispy on top, nice and golden brown. Oh, you guys are gonna love these. All right, we're out of the oven. Guys, just let them chill for a little bit. This is molten lava potatoes right here, guys. Y'all, we've let this cool off slightly. Honestly, guys, I couldn't wait any longer, okay? Got those good flavors going through it, that bacon, that cheese, the green onions in there, all that good stuff. There you go. A little close up without blowing it out. Cheers, y'all. Y'all, that's all the comforts of home right there, baby.